I'm surprised you have hair.
Who's that?
I thought that you said that you shaved it. I saw online.
Oh, I say all kinds of stuff. I always do. I always do audience interaction to get people reacted,
Oh,
and
that's so funny.
that was AI, and people freaked out, but it wasn't true.
Wow. Okay.
I thought you really did. I didn't freak out, but I thought, wow, you really saved it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh my God.
Think
Oh,
my
that's
first
easy. That's an
inquiry
easy one.
is, yeah, what is your go-to drink in the morning? What's the first thing? What do you?
Starbucks. I normally have like 8 cups of coffee because it's in Seattle and it's always cloudy here.
Oh
So I'll
yeah.
do like eight cups of coffee. But it's Starbucks. Well, and actually, it's Kirkland Espresso blend, so it's really strong.
Right. Starbucks is where it all started, isn't it? In
Yeah.
Seattle.
Yep. Pike's Place Market. Yep.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then now if you want to go there, the line is super long, just if you want to
Yeah,
get
it
your picture
is.
taken.
We basically seek out fans for the game that the Jags are playing this coming week. And who better? What other
Who better?
Seahawks fan is there than yourself, Captain Seahawk? It's an
Well,
honor.
I'm not the only fan. I'm just another fan, but I am addicted to it. It's if you have an addiction, the first step of accepting the addiction is knowing you have a problem, and I just can't stop.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
we always see you on the TV. So
yeah.
Do you go to every single game, or just the home games or the away games you can get to, or now you retired, right? So you go to every game?
No, no. For the last like 12 years, I've been going to almost every single game. The most games I went to in one season was 21.
wow.
21 games, road, home, Pro Bowl. What else was there? The Super Bowl and a couple others. But 21's a lot of games to go to
A
Oh,
lot of
oh
in
games.
one
yeah. Oh
year.
my gosh. Wow. But you
A
try
lot
to
of
get to just
devotion.
every game that you can get to. Are you going to this weekend?
Yes, yeah. I'm putting on a fundraiser, and if you check my webpage, I'm bringing a whole pile of jerseys that are autographed, footballs that are autographed, and
Wow.
Hall of Fame stuff. And we're going to try to raise $5,000 for Habitat for Humanity. One
Okay.
of the organizers of the party, she works there building houses, so we're going to try to do a fundraiser. We're going to raffle. They're going to raffle off a pile of jerseys and footballs that I'm going to donate.
Well, you should be able to raise 5,000 easily then if you've got signed jerseys and footballs and
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
so are those all Seahawk things then?
yeah. All Seahawk.
Okay. And
Yeah,
your fundraiser, is it just for Seahawks fans, or could Jags fans go if they felt like it, or what?
yeah. Anybody, Seahawk, Seattle or Washington State people are the nicest people in the world. It's almost to a fault. We're so nice.
That's
Hold on one
because you're
second.
close to
Put your
Canada, so you've
password.
got to be polite.
Yeah, yeah. Put your password inside. Yeah. So, like for example, I got back from the uh, the baseball game, and I was trying to start a "Let's Go Mariners," and only like 2 people joined in. We had a completely full plane of Mariners fans, and nobody wanted to scream. They're so polite. I've been
Oh,
on planes full of other fans, and the whole plane is screaming and yelling and going crazy, but not Seattle fans. We're just too nice and too polite, but that's
Very
okay.
civilized.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very,
very civilized. It's crazy. And have you heard the fable of the Etsy witch?
no.
No.
So what happened was the Seattle Mariners were going through a horrific slump. They lost like 20 games in a row. There was players injured. We were out of the playoffs. It looked just horrific. So this one fan, he went on Etsy, and I didn't even know this, but you can hire an Etsy witch to bless your team.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
he paid $15, and then he won 20 games in a row, and they went all the way to first place. And so everybody credits the Etsy witch,
Wow. Maybe that would work for the Jags or
got him. This is
Yeah.
Marshawn.
oh.
Never name a dog Marshawn Lynch
Oh,
because
right.
he's just angry all the time. He growls, and this guy's Ben, and Marshawn always gets bored and he bites Ben's ear and runs
Oh
off.
my gosh.
But
Well, they're
poor
really
little Ben.
cute. Little mascots.
Yeah.
They're
I'm
So
sure
so
anyway,
Marshawn, real Marshawn, was always biting people's ears.
no. I'm going to the airport and I'm flying all night to Jacksonville.
Wow.
God, wow.
I try not to plan too far ahead, but right now I have nowhere to sleep when I land. I land at 8 o'clock and the hotel room's not available till probably about
Right.
1 o'clock. But
Oh, boy.
I just thought of that right now. But
Yeah.
hopefully I'll
So
get
you
some
got the
sleep.
red eye. And then
Yeah.
you're, it's just for people that don't know, like especially Jacksonville people that might watch or something. So you are a retired airline captain, correct?
Yeah, for United Airlines.
For
I
United,
flew for
yeah.
United Airlines for 40 years.
40
Wow.
years. Oh my
I
God.
started when I
Wow.
was 25 and I went till I was 65.
Wow, that is amazing. And so you flew the big ones like the, you know, the 777, 787, Dreamliner and all that, right?
Yep, I was a captain on the 747 for 10
Oh,
years.
Wow.
nice. Wow.
But
That's
the
the
last one, the
flagship.
787, was pretty amazing. It would fly 17 hours straight. So I'd take off and go eastbound from San Francisco to Delhi, lay over 21, 22 hours, and then fly eastbound again to San Francisco. So I'd go completely around the world in 2.5 days.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
And then
Does
I'd
your
come
body
home and
like ever get
It's
used to
so
that?
exhausting.
no, you never get used to it. You just sleep when you're tired and wake up. Like I'd wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep and go back to bed at 8 o'clock. But it was just it's crazy that kind of travel, going completely around the world in 2.5 days is just insane.
Yeah,
I
that is.
guess it makes this whole Jacksonville stuff look easy, you know, like
Yeah,
playing all
yeah, it is.
night, you know.
Yeah, I
And,
just
and
got back. I just got back yesterday. I went to watch the Detroit Tigers and Seattle Mariners in Detroit. I watched them for 2 days and I almost got beat at not I almost got in a fight. Like I made a fatal error of going to the 300 level where everybody's really drunk. And I'm sure in London they have rowdy parts of football games, and I went to a
they do.
really rowdy place. But in general, the Detroit fans are pretty nice. But I spent 2 days there, and we won one, lost one. So after Jacksonville, Sunday night, I'm going to try get up to Toronto. If the Mariners win, they'll go into the next playoff series against Toronto. So I'll
Right.
leave Jacksonville and go to Toronto and watch baseball up there, and then come back and watch baseball here, hopefully. So we're going to scream really loud today. It's Game 5. It's the last one, and we'll
Yeah.
hope we win. When people see me on TV, I'll get like a couple of thousand more views like right away. Like, who's that guy? They look me
Yeah.
up, and then they start seeing the charities. So it equates
Good.
to money because they got the views, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool. I'll send some money
Yeah,
to
that's
that."
good.
So
Yeah.
every time I get on TV, that's the reason why I'm always on TV. And I didn't start this. There was a guy in Florida called Marlin Man, and I was watching baseball years ago, and he was a rich guy, and he went to every baseball stadium and bought the most expensive tickets right behind home plate. He had this orange shirt on. He was on like every single Florida Marlin
Wow.
game that I seen. I'm like, I could do that, but it's expensive because
Yeah.
the most expensive seats are the ones right on TV. And just like football stadiums, if you go like what I'll do is a couple weeks before, I'll watch the home game like Jacksonville, and the TV camera only goes what there's in local regional games, there's only 3 cameras. So one at each end, and they're
Yeah.
pointing right at about 20 seats at the end there. And they're probably the worst seats in the whole place. But everybody who owns those, they've had those seats since the beginning of time, and they know it's an on TV. So even if they only pay 150, they can ask like triple the price for it because they know
Oh
it's an
yeah.
on TV seat. So that's
Right.
why I get it. And also for football games, the players will see me, they'll run up and high five me, but I've never ever gotten a football from them.
Oh
A
really?
couple times they've thrown it at me, they missed, and went to the opposing team's fans. So I've
That's
never
so
got a
funny.
game ball.
Oh wow. That
Like
surprises
I
me after all the
videotaped
ones you've
them.
been to.
I videotaped them running up and they're celebrating like after a touchdown or an interception and stuff. And they know me. So I'm the first in the stadium. I'm the last to leave. So I'll get in there and I'll get some autograph. Like right now, I bought about 4 jerseys and I have to get them to autograph. Then I'll put them up for the next raffle. So
That's
I
good.
just finished this week's raffle. It was my girlfriend Sunhawk, she's a fire captain at a station, and they fundraise for kids for Christmas for underprivileged kids. So we raised $2,700 this week for that. I'm
That's
gonna
Oh,
good.
try to
that's so
raise
great.
trying to raise 5,000 for Habitat for Humanity on Saturday, and then I started one for a food bank next week. But I'm continuously running out of stuff, so I got to keep buying, getting autographs and stuff. People are really,
Yeah, I've seen that you have raffles and stuff online and drawings and
yeah,
stuff. I've seen that on your feed and it seems to go
yeah,
really well. And you've just got a lot of things always going on. I've also seen, I wanted to ask you this, but you've mentioned several times or a couple of times that I've seen that about the logo, about the Seahawks logo
yeah,
and the tribe, and I'd love to hear that story.
yeah. It's the number one. The first time I attended a Seahawk game was in 1985, which was 40 years ago. And I was a second officer, a flight engineer, and the captain said, "Hey, do you want to attend a Seahawk game?" I'm like, "What's a Seahawk?" It was at the Kingdom. And I went there. I'm like, "Wow, this is really cool." And back then I drank and I enjoyed having beer there and screaming and yelling and going crazy. So I've been going for a long time. But then when Matt Hasselback was really doing his thing, and Sean Alexander, I really started getting into it. And then it went into, Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch. And then they won the Super Bowl. I went to two Super Bowls. And in 2014, a local museum, Burke Museum, a couple of the professors said, "Hey, where'd the logo come from?" Like nobody knew. So they went, their historians, whatever, they went and they called the general manager. His name was John Thompson, and he was living in Las Vegas. And John says, "I had this book. I just opened this book in 1975. I was flipping through it. I picked this mask, and then, we had a couple of local native artists try to draw it, but they didn't like it. And so they gave it to a marketing company in San Francisco, ironically, and they
Oh,
picked
wow.
that logo to do it. And so they kept looking, and they found the actual headdress, and it's in the University of Maine, in the museum at the University of Maine. So they crowdsourced to pay to fly it out. It cost $30,000 to fly it out. It's a great big headdress. And then it flew back. In the meantime, my cousins came down and sang and danced and welcomed the headdress back into into the Northwest.
Mhm.
And so I was going to go down there, but I regret not going down there. But I started asking friends, like, "Do you know where the Seahawk logo came from?" Nobody knew. So that was in 2014. And so, 2013. And so that was my goal from that point forward, to tell people that that Seahawk logo came from my Native American tribe, the Kwakwakwa on Vancouver Island, and it's a transformation headdress. So
Wow.
nobody knew, to now millions of people know that it came from my tribe. And a few years later, I was inducted into the Warrior Society in my tribe. And I came out as a crazy wild man, screaming and yelling, half naked. Then I went in and changed, and I came back out as a warrior. And from that day forward, it's like people getting baptized as a Christian. I'm not a Christian, but events change your life. And from that day forward, I stopped drinking and smoking cigars, and I was really going to help other people. And that's when the charity work really kicked into overdrive. And so I put one of my headdresses up for auction and raised 500. And then, my Facebook page started with one viewer and one follower. And now I get up to 1 million views a day on,
Oh
Wow.
my
on my
God.
Facebook page and Instagram. And it's really weird how, they call it an influencer. I don't know what, it's really weird being an influencer. It's a lot of work. I get
Yeah.
paid, but
It's a
it's
full-time
from
job. You just haven't got enough
full
hours
time.
in the day.
Yeah, you got, everywhere I look, should I take a picture there? What should I wear? Do I have to go buy something new? Do I have to get the newest jersey? Like, this is the newest
That's
jersey with the
cool.
newest hat. And I went down and put Captain on the back of it. So being an influencer is just crazy.
Is
But
that the rivalry jersey?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's I think,
yeah.
oh, let me see it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's, yeah, that's
No,
really cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that you had some people. Oh, yeah, I like that. I saw that you had some people that you pictured at the game when it first came out in the rivalry
Yeah.
jersey, and I also know that people, your followers take care of you because I know they've mailed you some stuff for you to wear. I think somebody
Yeah.
mailed
Yeah.
you
I
something to
get,
wear at the draft.
yeah, I get gifts all the time from different stuff. A lot of artists, well, a lot of it's weird. A lot of it, not weird, but a lot of people were faced difficult times in their lives, and then I'll donate to a kind of charity that helped them. So then they send me stuff. They send me free stuff like painted boots and artwork and 3D printing. I get a lot of free stuff, and I'm really flattered, and it's pretty cool. And a lot of the times I'll pass it on to my viewers. If I don't use it, I'll raffle it off or give it away or pass it on. I kind of play it forward kind of thing. And that's what part of the deal is when somebody gives me something like you can either keep it or give it away or do whatever you want. So I'll play it forward most of the time.
Yeah.
And then you kind of become larger than life because I know with the captain and I help with a lot of the socials and I know they always ask like, well, what do you think of this? What do you think of the trade? And they just want to know. They feel connected to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to. Football is such a chaotic, well, all sports are, but the big number one thing with football is injuries and then
Mm.
luck. Like like we had a Chen and Melissa go out after if you get one or two high paid players go out, you're screwed. You
Yeah.
gambled all that money, and now you're expecting somebody getting minimum wage to come in and do the exact job, and it's just not going to happen. And the luck part is that guy turns out to be even like half as good as the guy that just got injured and was out for the season and stuff. And then you get,
Yeah.
sometimes a
It's a
questionable
lottery, isn't it?
call. Yeah, or the ball just bounces one way, the guy picks it up and right in his hands and scores. So, I don't, there's a lot of people making a lot of money talking about football, but I just can't do that. I tried to do that and I was proven wrong so many times. I'm like, this got to do that and do that. It didn't happen. Everybody just comes back and like, hey, that's not true. And they'll correct me. So I just do just my page is positive. It's never negative. There's no politics. There's no arguing. There's no name calling. It's just all we have to do is just cheer for our team and that's it. And it's
Just
working out pretty
fun.
good.
Have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's
and
what we
so
want. So do you monitor it? Like if somebody starts name calling or doing stuff you don't like, do you like take it off? Or do you
oh
just
yeah, I
let other
ban
people
them
say,
instantly.
oh,
Yeah,
good, okay,
I ban. I don't give any warnings or nothing. I just
yeah.
ban them instantly.
Well, I
I
think that's
do.
good. You know how I feel about it is it's your page. You do what you want,
Yeah.
and I don't want any I don't want any negative stuff either. It's like people come
Yeah.
there to have fun. They don't come
Yeah.
there to argue and read stuff like that.
You've got lots of followers on your socials and everything. I mean, was there a strategy at the beginning, or did you just let it evolve, just let it slowly happen?
It's trial and error,
Yeah.
and I tried all kinds of different things, and I'd say something and lose a pile of followers, and I'd say something and gain a pile of followers. So I just kind of just rolled into just positivity and just the good things. Not even if the team sucks or they're playing bad or like Tyreek Woolen has been playing not as good recently, and I still I'm still let's hope Tyreek gets 2 interceptions this week or something. Turn a negative into a positive and post a picture of him intercepting off Tom Brady or something. So
Yeah.
and I monitor Twitter and all the Instagram and all the other Facebook, and all the news groups and all the pictures, AP images. So I'm kind of like a filter of Seahawk news. I get it from everywhere, and I find it, and I'll find something that sounds neutral and positive, and then I'll kind of expand on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
because it doesn't
yeah.
help to be negative. It doesn't help to just
No,
talk about how bad everything
There's
is.
too much
Last,
negativity
yeah,
around.
last year there was a couple blowouts real bad with the Jags, but the captain just made them into comedy bits because it's like
Yeah, just
sometimes
yeah,
you
have
have to
fun.
just laugh.
Laugh about it. You just got to laugh about it at the end of the day. You know,
yeah,
if you get upset about it, it doesn't make any difference to the result. You might as well just smile and wave and just do your best and just be optimistic for the future and learning, because people hopefully learn from their mistakes, don't they? So, and if
Yeah.
one team are making a hell of a lot of mistakes, then they're learning a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we want to
used
ask.
years ago, I used to be mad and stuff and throwing stuff and yelling and screaming, but it doesn't change anything.
No, it
It
doesn't
just
change a
gets my
thing.
heart rate up and stuff. And
Yeah,
people say, "Aren't you mad?" For a couple of seconds, I'm mad after a bat like that San Francisco. I just shake my head a little bit, like, and then move on. And I golf. I'm a golfer, and you just got to move on to the next shot. You can't look back. You got to look forward. And I go to every game thinking we're going to win. That's why I paint a W on my face, because we're going to win. If I thought we're going to lose anything, why would I leave my house and go somewhere else? I just stay in
yeah,
my house and watch it on TV.
Why would you go to Florida, if you're not going to
Yeah.
beat the Jags, right?
Yeah.
When you think about the Jags constantly, what do you think? What are
I,
your thoughts, good and bad?
I don't think of any other teams. I'm sorry, but I do.
that's okay.
I watched the game before, and
Yeah,
Right.
it's scary that you guys are looking good. It's getting like we lost our last game to Buccaneers, and I watched the Buccaneers the week before. I'm like, oh my God, this is bad, because Baker was hot, and Baker's hit or miss, and once he gets on a streak, you get good Baker Mayfield, and then he goes into bad Baker Mayfield, and he starts throwing interceptions, and he was hot. I'm like, oh my God, and we end up losing that. And then there was a fan screaming and yelling, taunting him, and he got even madder. I don't think taunting other players is a really good idea. But
no,
I watched you guys last year, and your quarterback is on a roll, and he's running, and he's happy, and confidence is such a big thing in this game, and you guys are running on 100% confidence right now. I'm just hoping that you guys are so high that you forgot all about us, like beating
yeah,
Kansas City. You're just like, it's such a buildup, and that's the interest. I'm not a psychiatrist, but there's so much mental. I would imagine there's so much mental in a football players, because you're going out there, giving it all. And so Kansas City, they're so built up. Maybe they forgot about us, and will
we
come
will
out
see, I
fast and surprise
suppose.
them.
It'll be a good game. I think it'll be a really
Yeah,
good game. I think there's
yeah,
going to be picks on both sides.
Your secondary's just ripped up, aren't they, right now? Your
yeah. We
secondary's
got
really
all
banged up.
third stringers. Julian Love is out. Devin Witherspoon. I was looking for you, and I posted, but I really don't follow the injury report, because most of the time they come back. So you'd rather have your injured player playing at 75% than having a rookie, who only played half as good as the other guy. And Devin Witherspoon has been kind of limping around. He hasn't been able to keep up. So it'll be interesting if they let him play it at
I was just asking about Sam Darnold and
yeah,
when Seattle made him the starter and
yeah.
stuff, were you happy, or were you like, oh no?
No, the only thing I look at is wins and losses. He had 14 wins, and there's not one team in 32 teams that would take on a quarterback that won 14 games in one season. You could say, well, he had the receivers, he had the running back, he had this and he had that, but in the end, the quarterback is the captain, and he has to make plays.
He
You know,
makes all the difference. Makes all the difference.
yeah, and if you have a running back that takes over the whole game, fine. But in the end, the quarterback has to make the calls. And to win 14 games, I was very excited. I don't know what the money wise is, but I think he wanted too much from the Vikings, and we got him at a fair deal. So he's really experienced. He's had highs, he's had lows. So I'd rather take him over a rookie or somebody else. So yeah, I was happy they picked a guy with a 14-game winner. That was pretty good.
Are the Seahawks going to the playoffs then?
Oh, I would not attend games if I didn't think so.
True. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's that positivity kicking in, isn't it?
yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to win the Super Bowl. But my goal is just getting the Super Bowl. Once you get the Super Bowl, you never know what's going to happen. But, like I said, injuries, like we're just beat up right now. And, it's scary when teams win like the first 10 games because nobody's injured. So it's kind of, we're going to go through the injury bug right now.
Seahawks, Jags, Super Bowl.
Yeah, sure.
That'd be really good. We'd like
It's gonna
that.
be, yeah, it's gonna be in San Francisco. That'll be crazy if we go to San Francisco for the Super Bowl. I'm like, who really goes to the draft? I knew nothing about it, but the year before they were in Nashville, and I seen a lot of people having fun. So I said, man, I'll give it a shot. So I went, and man, I talked to the cameraman yesterday from Fox Sports, who's always at every draft, and he was telling, oh, I see this guy at the draft all the time, and he said the reason why the draft is so good because every team is 0-0. So
Yeah,
there's there's no winning, there's no losing. Everybody's just happy, and it's a real positive mood. And
it's just party time, isn't it? Yeah.
I said I had such a great time, and then that Cleveland, I won fan of the year, fan of the draft. I got an all expense paid trip from the
Nice.
NFL to go to the Super Bowl in Los
Wow.
Angeles. But
Cool.
it was Los Angeles playing Cincinnati,
Oh, that one.
and all the Rams fans knew me, and they're all booing me. And this cute little 12-year-old blonde girl in the Rams are like, "F you, Captain Seahawk." I'm like, "What? You're 12. Why are you swearing at me, God?"
God.
That's so funny.
Okay.
Oh my
Oh,
God. Well, to me, the draft is about the fans, it seems like. And it's free, right? I mean, if you want to stand in line all night, and it seems like all the locals are the ones that do it, like at Detroit, everybody that last Saturday was a Lions fan, it seemed like, that last day, because it was free.
yeah. Yeah, I wasn't going to go to Green Bay, and then I won an all expense paid trip to announce a draft pick. It was crazy. There was I wasn't going to go, and then there was this thing that popped up to donate to the Walter Payton Man of the Year from your team to get entered to get an all expense paid trip to by All True to Green Bay, airfare, hotel, food, and announce a draft pick in inner circle. And so I'm like, so I donated. And then like a couple weeks later, they called me and said, you're a finalist. We'll be on the phone tomorrow morning. And then they called me up and they said, okay, you're being recorded. Have you ever, been to an airport before? Because you have to
Oh,
travel
that's
alone.
funny.
I'm like, yes, I have. Like,
Couple
do you
of
know how to
times.
check into a hotel? I'm like, yeah, I've stayed at hotels. And like, do you need a wheelchair or anything? Like, no. And then it's okay, you won. And I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe I won. And so I went
Wow,
there.
that's amazing.
Yeah. But I'm going to, I already booked my room for Pittsburgh. I got the hotel room with
Wow.
the Mar. I booked it as soon as, so I keep checking. They only do it like maybe 10 months ahead. So I'll keep checking like every single day to see when it opens up because they'll sell maybe 20 rooms and then the NFL books the whole entire hotel and it's not available anymore. So I'm all booked and set up for that. So
It
I'll
seems
bring
like it's
my,
always the Marriott, that's where they
yeah,
book.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow,
that's
that's
where they book.
amazing. That we'll all have to hang out in the lobby and see if I can catch you.
Yeah.
Thank you and
Yeah.
safe travels.
Great to see you.
Whenever I say goodbye on my socials and things, I always say cheerio. So I want to see your best impression of saying cheerio.
Okay. Cheerio, top of the morning.
Cool. Right. Well,
Awesome.
thank you.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
thanks. And
good.
we're going to be looking for you at the game Sunday. I mean, we're not going to be
Yeah,
there, but
Not
on the
going to be there.
TV. Yeah.
are screaming and yelling, and we hate you. And when I'm walking around to myself, I always try to give them a punch. I'm like, all right, I'm like, hey, have a great game,
Yeah.
and just keep
Positivity.
I
walking.
don't
Put
think
out there.
I don't think they'll scream that they hate you there. They seem to, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll go,
Yeah.
oh my
No,
God,
that'd be
look at
good.
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
think it'll
always
be
a couple
awesome.
of drunk people that
There
had too
are.
much to drink.
Always.
Yeah. All
Yes,
right.
there
Have a
are.
great day.
Take care.
Cheerios.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks a
you.
lot.
See you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.